Hi, my name is Khabiraj Pandey. My student ID is MIT210695. I'm pursuing Master of Networking here at MIT in Melbourne campus. Today, I'm going to demonstrate one very important two Linux monitoring tools, Atop and PowerTop. Throughout this presentation video, I'll be showing how to install both the tools and I'll navigate through the features of both the tools. I'll be giving the brief introduction about the Atop and PowerTop and explaining how network administrator can get maximum benefits using these tools, followed by comparison of these two tools using Kali Linux. So for that, let me run my Kali Linux. So let me share my screen of Kali Linux, where we going to install Atop and PowerTop. But before that, let me give a brief introduction about Atop. So Atop Linux monitoring tool. Atop is an ASCII full screen performance monitor which can log and report the activity of all the server processes. One feature I really like is that Atop will stay active in the background for longer term server analysis up to 28 days by default. So let's run the Atop in Kali Linux. So I have already updated the system. So in order to install the Atop, we need to type a command called apt -get install Atop. So as I have already installed Atop in this system, so it just says 0 newly installed. So so it's already been installed in my laptop. Now we are going to use the command man atop man atop. We just simply use this command basically to help to view a system reference manuals main pages. This command gives user access to manual pages for command line utilities and tools like name, synopsis, descriptions, and so on. So just get back to the command prompt, just simply press Q. So now we're gonna launch Atop. So we need to use the command simply Atop. Once Atop is launched, by default it will show system activity for CPU, as you can see here, memory, swap memory, disk and network in every 10-second intervals. So in every 10-second interval, the data will be updated. In addition, for each process and threads, we can analyze CPU utilization, memory consumption, disk input output, priority, username, state, and it even exists with codes. So as you see in the above screen, the Atop command will display the following details, features of Atop. So the first one you can see here is PRC. So it will show the the details both in system and user mode. For you can see a system and the user mode here, PRC. Likewise, it shows the current processes, the current processes that is running, which is 133, as well as the current sleeping interruptible threads, which is 1. Following that, it also shows the uninterruptible threads, which is 0 at the moment. It also shows about the Jumbi processes, which is here, as well as the clones, the number of processes that ends during the interval time, which is also called the exit. So it also gives the information about the the CPU section, where it displays the CPU utilization both in the system and user mode, which you can see here. And following that, it also shows about the CPL section, which display the CPU load. So in the CPL section, you can see the CPU load in system, user, as well as the system user modes, where the average value is over 1, 5, and 15, as you can see here. After that, it shows the memory section that displays the how much memory the system has been using. So we can get the information from here. It also talk about the swap memory. So swap, the SWP section display the swap memory uses. So you can see over here, which the system is using 2 GB of swap memory. It also provides the information of DSK. The section display the total disk uses of the system, as well as the net. It also display the uses of the network interface cards in your system. So let's get back to the Kali Linux, sorry, the command prompt. So simply press Q. Now we're gonna talk about the PowerTop. So I'm gonna give the short introductions, and we're gonna talk about the features of PowerTop. So PowerTop is a software utility designed to measure, explain, and minimize a computer's electrical power consumption. It was released by Intel in 2007 under the GPL version 2 license. So it worked for Intel, AMD, ARM processors. So now let's install the PowerTop. So similar to the Atop, we're going to use a similar method. So apt hyphen get install PowerTop. So I have already installed PowerTop in this machine. So it says 0 newly installed. Um, so it's already been installed in my machine. So now we're going to use another command name of PowerTop. So name PowerTop. This man command will help us to view a system's reference manuals, main pages. The command gives user access to manual pages for the command line and utilities, and its associated tools like name, synopsis, descriptions, options. So you can see various features over here as well. So to get back to the command prompt, simply press Q. So now without the further delay, we're gonna type a command PowerTop and get into it. So as soon as we put the command, so it takes quite a few seconds to display on the screen. So we can see the overview screen over here. The display screen, the overview display screen allows you to view the list of the system components that is associated with the systems that are either sending wake ups to the CPU most frequently or are using the most power on the system. So you can know which is using more power and which is using the less power throughout this screen. Similarly, the ideal states, it displays the various information about the processor C states. So you can see here the processor and its status about the C states. So following that, there is a frequency state screen where it displays the frequency wake up to the CPU. So all the information is displayed over here. Similarly, there is another screen called device status. So it provides the information similar to the overview display screen, but only for the devices that is connected to the system. So these are all the devices that is currently being connected to this system, and we can get the information on how much power they are using at the moment. So there's another screen called tunables. So on this screen, it provides a suggestion for optimizing the system for good power consumption as well as bad power consumption. So now we can see so all the all the system that has been connected in this machine, they are the good power consumption. So sometimes there is bad power consumption as well, which consumes a lot of power, and then we have to use the auto tune command to like make them good power consumption. So when we go to the overview screen, sorry, back to overview screen. So the current, the updated time is, I think it's 20 seconds. To know that, just simply use the yes. So currently the system get refreshed in 20 seconds. We can change it to 30 seconds. So all the information now will be changed in 30 seconds or updated in 30 seconds. So we can change that back to 20 seconds by simply pressing yes. So we can put that back to 20 seconds so that the system will update itself within 20 seconds. We can also use the tunables command from the command prompt. So simply we can press Q. So to get back to get back to the command prompt, so we can use PowerTop, double hyphen auto hyphen tune. So this will enable all the bad power consumptions to the good power consumption. So now we can check the PowerTop screen again. It will take a few seconds. So let's go to the tunable screen. See, you can see all of the attach USB device and PCI devices and port, now are now consuming the good power, so they're not consuming much power. So PowerTop also, we can get the report from PowerTop using the like we can generate the PowerTop CSV report, as well as we can generate the PowerTop HTML report. So now we going to compare the Atop and the PowerTop tools. So Atop normally shows the resources uses of all processes, even those that are closed or completed. But the PowerTop shows the electric power consumptions. Atop monitors threads within the processes and ignores processes that are unused, whereas PowerTop monitors the CPU frequency scaling. And Atop highlights the critical resources using colors. When there is a memory full, for the swap memory, it will just put the red color over there. That means there is not much space left. PowerTop does not highlight anything but generates the report like CSV and HTML report, which I have already mentioned previously. Atop include disk input output and network utilizations, but PowerTop include PowerTop power utilizations. So conclusion, I'm gonna make a conclusion regarding the video. I would like to conclude in here that I've demonstrated the features and functionalities of these tools. So you can start Atop, you can start Atop and PowerTop with the command line parameters that will help you to do much more. This tools is really effective and helpful to encounter issue before causing any harm to the system. Hopefully I have addressed all the ambiguity regarding the features and functions of these monitoring tools, which definitely will help working as a system administrator. Thank you.